Is it just me, or are we seeing a huge wave of new DIY investors pouring into the market? Now, in general, I think it's great that more people are engaging with making their money work harder, trying to achieve financial freedom, showing a real interest in all these areas. That's great, amazing, I love it. Except people seem to be flying in with little to no research, no idea what they're doing, making schoolboy errors all over the place. Some of the things that I'm reading at the moment on social media and some of the messages that I receive are simply frightening. It seems to be a simple case of all aboard the hype train, next stop Brokesville. Toot toot. So this video is for you, how to not lose money when it comes to shares, how to not lose money when investing, and how to be smarter with your money. Let's do it. Hey, this is Tom Morgan. Welcome back to the channel of That Finance Show. I am a UK-based financial planner and advisor. Remember, disclaimers first, this is not financial advice. This channel is here to give you information to make better decisions for yourself. Be sure to like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and hey, come join in the fun on Instagram too. Now, I really wanted to resist quoting Warren Buffett when putting this video together, but it is pretty hard to do when he keeps coming out with all these great little nuggets. In case you don't know, Warren Buffett is arguably one of the most successful investors of all time, and he is much more worth listening to than me. And when it comes to investing, he has a few rules that he lives by. Rule number one is don't lose money. And rule number two, never forget rule number one. Think of it a bit like Fight Club, only you're allowed to talk about it and it's about money. I reckon I could take Warren, but that's rubbish surely. We all know that investments go down as well as up, but that's not really the point that he's trying to make. After all, even Warren's positions fell by around 23 billion in the financial crash in 2008. The first thing that you need to know when trying not to lose money when it comes to investing is this. Avoid speculation. This is what we've been seeing with AMC and the GameStop saga, and to a degree cryptocurrency. I mean, for crying out loud, Dogecoin. Really? Now, it's a great Hollywood movie story when the little guy sticks it to the big man, and that's essentially what we saw with the AMC GameStop Reddit saga. My problem, however, is there's always somebody left carrying the bags, and plenty of unwitting people got hurt and lost a lot of money in the process. And I'm not just talking about big hedge fund managers, I'm talking about the average Joe, me and you. Well, not me, because I didn't get sucked into it. What I'm trying to say is there are a lot of unwitting people that got caught in the crossfire and lost a lot of money. With any kind of asset, when it starts to grow and do well, it's normally at the start for all the right reasons, the fundamentals, something we'll come on to in a minute. But at some point, it will attract the speculators, the gamblers, the people that want to come in and try and make money really quickly. What can happen is the speculators begin to take over, and once speculative forces start to take over the fundamental forces, this is what causes a bubble and when the real problem starts. Do tulips mean anything to you? Back in the Dutch Golden Age, there was a period where the price people were paying for the new trendy thing that was tulips reached crazy highs and then came to a dramatic collapse. This tulip mania is actually generally regarded as the first asset bubble or speculative bubble that we've seen. It was the first example of all aboard the hype train. People got completely carried away with how much they should be paying for tulips, and eventually it all came crashing down. It's the greater fool theory. It does not matter the price that you pay, because there'll always be somebody, a greater fool, that will pay a higher price than you in the future when you want to sell. And this is the problem. The tech bubble of '99 is another great recent example where the internet was the next big thing and people were climbing over each other to buy stocks in companies that had anything remotely to do with technology or the internet, only to later find out when the whole thing unraveled that most of those companies were actually junk and worth nothing. Again, Mr. Buffett once likened these bubbles to Cinderella at the ball. Picture this, it's the best party that you've ever been to, there's loads of booze, the music is great, the girls and guys are hot, only you know at midnight it has to come to an end and everything turns into pumpkins and mice. But the party just keeps on getting better and better. Just one more dance, one more drink, this party is off the chain. Off the chain. I'm a father of two, that felt like a real dad thing to say, apologies. It was like your dad trying to sound cool, right? Now, you're confident that you can get out of this party before midnight, but so is everyone else. There are no clocks at this party and the door is not wide enough for everybody to fit through. So people are left carrying the bags, people are left at this party staring at the pumpkin and mice and losing a lot of money and getting hurt in the process. You see, the thing is, when it comes to these bubbles, is you never ever know how long they're going to last and how far they might go. So my message to you is ignore the hype train, don't get on board, take a walk instead. Now, the next thing that you really want to avoid is investing solely on someone else's opinion. Not family, not friends, and certainly not InvestGuru69 on the Reddit boards. Now, just to be clear, I made him up, so if he turns out to be a real person, I'm really sorry, sure he's a lovely guy. What I'm trying to say here is, in short, do not invest in things that you do not understand. If you hear about something and you think it might be interesting, then do your research before you go jumping in. I think the biggest example of this at the moment is cryptocurrency. How many people that are invested in different forms of cryptocurrency really understand what they have? If you were to show me a list of your investments, and if I asked you line by line the question, why do you hold that? If you can't give me an answer based on some kind of facts, analysis, or at least some kind of logic, and you say something like, because Stuart at the pub said it's going to be a banger, then you've got a problem. You need to look at the fundamentals. Don't invest emotionally, look at the facts. You want to be investing in good quality businesses. Another one of Warren's rules is if the business does well, the stock eventually follows. Now, fundamentals are looking at things like balance sheets, income statements, cash flow statements, price to earnings ratios, to name but a few. Well beyond the scope of this video, but my message is if you want to invest in individual stocks, then you need to do some research and learn these things first. It's far better to buy a wonderful company at a fair price than a fair company at a wonderful price. Yep, him again. Now, I want to leave you this week with one final thought. If Warren Buffett is so successful, why doesn't everyone just copy him? Well, interestingly, Jeff Bezos of Amazon, one of the world's richest men, recently asked him that exact question. Jeff asked Warren, "Your style of investing is so simple. Why doesn't everyone just copy you?" And Warren's answer? Because no one wants to get rich slowly. Please like the video and consider subscribing to the channel. We post a new video every single week. We are a small channel, but we are growing, so it'd be great to have some more people along for the journey. I really hope I can help as many people as possible. Drop me a comment in the box below. Have you been sucked into any of these recent bubbles? Did you invest in GameStop, AMC? Tell your story. What did you learn? What would you do differently next time? Remember, money doesn't buy you happiness, but a lack of it will make you miserable. I'll see you next week. Look after yourselves. See you soon.